Okay, it's breeding season, and in today's video I plan to show you every gravid female that I have, including a couple females that, keep my fingers crossed, I'm hoping are gravid. I'm also going to introduce a new segment today, two new segments. One is going to be a breeder spotlight, and the other one is going to be a product spotlight. So please stick around because we have a lot to get to. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Gary Scavino, and welcome to my second video. The first video went really well. The response was, honestly, it was overwhelming. I can't believe within the first 4 days we received over 2 million views. I mean, that was, oh, sorry, that's my beautiful wife and camera woman. What's that, honey?
Honey, it was actually over 2,000 views.
Oh, what did I say?
You said 2 million.
Oh, whatever. Potato, potato. I was just rounding up. Any event, we have a great show for you today, so stick with me. We'll be right back. In today's product spotlight, I just want to show you purchase by my friend Mike Zach. Mike has been making me purchase for my cages for at least a couple years now. I absolutely love them. What Mike does is he takes PVC. He could take any length that you need, any diameter that you need. He twists it. He adds texture to it so the animals simply just don't slide off the perches. And I love them. They look great in the cages. The animals love them. The best part about it is that you could take any terrestrial cage, and simply by adding Mike's perches, you can make it now an arboreal cage. In order to fasten them, what I do is, you see these little T-squares here? You actually just notch perfectly into the perches, and these T-squares can be purchased by my friend David Brahms, who I introduced you to in the first video. David makes all the purchase for my baby enclosures. The name of his company is Specialty Enclosed Designs, and so you can get these T-squares from David Brahms, the purchase from Mike, and you have a perfect set. There's nothing else you need, and I'm going to put a link to the bottom of this video to Mike Zach's purchase. Hey, so I'm calling this the breeder spotlight segment of my video, and in this part of the video what I want to do is just feature breedings of animals that are more uncommon or more difficult to breed, or even an exceptional arboreal pairing. So if you have one of those pairings that you want to brag about, and you want people to know about it, I'd love to know about it. So send me a picture of the pairing or a picture of your babies and give me some detail, and I'll be sure and feature you and your animals in a future video. In today's video, I want to feature my friend Dennis McNamara, who just hatched out a clutch of southern scrub pythons. They're a Maruki locality. Dennis had 3 eggs laid on February 23rd of this year. After 77 days of incubation, the first egg hatched on May 10th. Dennis got 3 eggs. Unfortunately, the female became egg-bound with 10 eggs, and Dennis unfortunately lost the female. So that's always unfortunate, but he did get 3 live babies out of it. Just the interesting part of this story is that Dennis is affiliated with the Virginia Zoo, and back in October of 2014, he received a call about a loose snake by animal control. Turns out the animal was left in an abandoned home, and when Dennis showed up, he walked in the backyard of his home, and all of a sudden you see this southern scrub python crawling around this person's backyard. He wasn't sure exactly what locale or what of the scrub python it was, but once he identified it, he was able to pick up a male for it. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty interesting story. So again, if you have a pairing you want people to know about, we'd love to know about it. Send me some information. I'll feature you in a future video. Okay, so finally let's get to some animals. If there's one thing I've learned about making my first video, what most people want is less talky and more snaky, so let's get right into that. I'm going to share every experience with you guys, okay? Good, bad, and ugly with my breeding journey over the next few months. As a breeder, I got to tell you, it's pretty scary for me to do this. I'm sure most of you can relate, because until you see live babies, we hate talking about our pairings. But again, you guys are in this with me, so here we go. Hey, first story we're going to start with is this female diamond python. She's a true, genuinely striped female diamond. I love this girl. And so this part is not going to have a great start, because she unfortunately became egg-bound. She went 21 days post-ovulation shed. She became egg-bound. The bad news was I lost her entire clutch of 12 eggs. We weren't able to salvage any. The good news is she's alive. She's still with me. And I'm going to give her a couple of years off. We know what the issues were. She had some slugs, and some of them were so small they became twisted in her oviduct, caused some complications, and that's what caused her to become egg-bound. But in any event, we're going to try her again in 2 years. I still have her. She looks great. She has great muscle tone, so we try again. So this is a 2015 Marfak female. She recently went through her ovulation. Within 30 days, she'll have her POS. And 15 to 30 days later, she'll experience oviposition. Actually, you know what? We have a lot of new herpers watching, so I think we should break down some of this terminology. Shall we? Okay. Oviduct, the tube through which the egg passes. Ovulation. When the follicles accumulate near the opening to the oviduct, swelling will occur. This typically lasts 8 to 24 hours. Then, as the follicles are fertilized, shelling begins to take place. POS, post-ovulation shed, typically occurs within 30 days after ovulation. Oviposition simply means laying of eggs. This will occur 15 to 30 days after the post-ovulation shed. So this is a 2015 Marfak chondro. She recently ovulated and she should be going into her post-ovulation shed within the next 30 days. So what is a Marfak chondro? Well, her mom was an Arfak chondro, her dad was a Manokwari chondro. I combined the names and called them a Marfak chondro. I'm now told that actually they're the same animal because truth be told is the Manokwari and the Arfak Matlins are about 40 miles apart from each other, so they're actually the same animal. But 16 years ago, when I got the mother to this female, they were considered two separate localities. To add more confusion to the story, taxonomists, as we know, changed the name from Chondropython to viridis to now Morelia viridis, and now, most recently, we're calling these Morelia pulcher. Okay? Listen, I can't take it anymore. Honey, can you come in for a dramatic close-up? Stop taxonomy bullying me. I want to call them what I want. This is a Marfak chondro. Anyway, let's go to the next animal. All right, I know these aren't as glamorous as some of my other animals, but there's something about Conica sand boas. I always love rough-scaled sand boas. I got my first one in 1987 from a pet store in the state of New Jersey, here where I live, and I just always loved them. I've always kept them, and I think they're awesome little animals. This girl's a 2014. She's 6 years old, and you can see she is fat as a house. She ovulated. They'll go about 60 days post-ovulation shed, and she'll give me some babies, hopefully. I bred her about 2 years ago for the first time. She gave me 8 live perfect babies, so I'm hoping to get at least that this year. So hopefully she'll be dropping within the next month or so. And then here's a second Conica sand boa. This girl is 3 years old. She recently ovulated. She's actually in shed right now, but she's so pretty. Looks like a big western diamondback rattlesnake. But I will hopefully have some babies from her in the next couple months as well. And there's great little animals. And again, Eryx conicus, or rough-scaled sand boas. And what's really cool about these, now they're producing some really nice morphs, some really high orange stuff, really cool stuff out there. So anyway, on to the next. Okay, so this is a 2005, making her a 15-year-old Amazon Basin emerald tree boa. Story behind this girl is I picked her up along with another, actually 2.2 total adults. I got them back in September of 2019. I got them from a customer of mine who I sold some green tree pythons to roughly 15, 16 years ago. He had about 14, 15 animals. All of that were in the 15 to 16 year age range, and I bought his entire collection. It's a little tricky because she's been in the same enclosure. All those adults have been in the same enclosure for all those years, and I kind of took them and I didn't really cycle them at all, these basins. I just kind of introduced them, put them together. So, hey, look, I'm not making any excuses here, but, you know, it might not be the year for me with basins. It might be I may have a better shot next year after the animals have been used to being in my home for a little bit longer. But I'm very fortunate to have some very good friends like my Corrales consigliere, Keith McPeak, who takes all my calls and answers all my questions on these. And of course, Ed Marino has been extremely helpful. So I'm just hoping that we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping to come down here in a couple months and see a cage full of babies. That would just, as you can imagine, make my day, make my year. But we'll see. So right now I'm just remaining optimistic. She looks great. She's doing all the right things. She's been uncomfortable. She lays under the heat. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. So this is a silver Savu python. Quick story about Savu pythons is I keep Antaresia, children's pythons, and granite spotted pythons. About 3 years ago, I decided I want to get into Savu pythons. I love animals, especially that go through an onogenic color change, and these are born terracotta red before they change to their adult coloration. Guess what? I couldn't find any. You just can't find them anymore. It's one of those animals that's going to disappear from the pet trade unless people start working with them again. When they first started coming into the United States back in 1993, I mean, you could find a baby for $50, adults were maybe $100, and unfortunately, when animals are that inexpensive, people don't take care of them the way they should, and they don't work with them the way they should. They're not the easiest animals to breed. Truth is, they're very easy to breed. All my pairs, I have about 10 adults at this point. They all copulated, but as far as getting fertility from them, clutches from them, that seems to be the tricky part. I'm working on it. So I have 5 adult females. This girl so far is the only one that took for this season. And I'm hoping, I've been speaking to a few people, I'm going to make a couple changes next year, hopefully have more success on some of the other girls. And yeah, people need to start working with them. There are really only two color phases, what's called a normal color phase, and this is the silver, which is really an exanthic. The entire Savu Island is about 6 miles wide by 10 miles long. Very few of these exist any longer on the island of Savu. They're very rarely brought into the United States anymore. So again, people need to start working with them. This girl has 6 eggs in her. She went through her post-ovulation shed. She's about 17 days right now, post-ovulation shed. So hoping to wake up any morning now with a clutch of fertile eggs. And again, I will keep you guys posted. This is my second 2015 Marfak female that I'm hoping is gravid. She's off feed. She has not ovulated yet. Incidentally, she's the sister to the animal that I showed you earlier. Again, her mom is now a 16-year-old Arfak female. Her dad was a pure Manokwari chondro. She was bred to a Manokwari male, so that would make the baby 75% Manokwari, 25% Arfak. But she's awesome. She has some really beautiful black highlights on her. Really excited about get some babies from this clutch. And again, I'm going to keep everybody posted. So please keep your fingers crossed for me and wish me luck. Hey, so thanks again for watching my second video. If you've not yet seen my first video, I'm going to put a link down below so you can check it out. Also, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you've not already. In addition to that, USARK. If you're not a member of USARK, I urge you to please become one. They do so much for our hobby. They do so much for us. They ask so little from us. So I think right now it's like $5 a month. You can become a member. And again, so important. If you could please do that. Again, I'll put a link down below. Also, Instagram. I recently signed up for Instagram, and that's where I plan on putting all the updated information from my breedings, okay, between videos. Because with videos, I'm only really putting out 2 to 3 a month. So between videos, all my breeding updates are going to be put on Instagram. My address there is @gs.reptiles, and that's where you can find me on Instagram. Just joined Instagram, don't know much about it, but I can't believe I already have like 5 million followers on there, which I thought was...
Hun.
Oh, that's my beautiful wife again. What's up, honey?
Okay, you just said you have 5 million followers?
Wait, how many do I actually have?
You have 500.
Honey, I'm rounding up, okay? Anyway, I'll see everybody on the next video. Thanks so much for joining me. Who has the best YouTube channel? Me